In early spring, the area around tree swallow houses is often roiling with birds swooping and tangling midair. Street brawls. That's because tree swallows nest in cavities, or bluebird houses, both of which are hard to come by. They arrive early from the tropics every spring in hopes of locating an empty tree cavity. Those are harder to find than they once were now that people cut down so many dead trees. But a surge in putting up bluebird houses has eased the housing crunch for the bluebirds and for tree swallows. Even so, the swallows always outnumber the houses, so the birds vie like ace pilots for possession. In fact, ace pilots are just swallow wannabes. It's a sign of how much they value good nesting sites that these insectivores arrive early enough in the spring to risk having a cold snap deprive them of bugs to eat. Well, worst comes to worst, they'll eat berries, and they're willing to risk having to for a chance at the best housing. It's the female who procures a nest site, and she has to be Calamity Jane spoiling for a shootout to secure a nest box. But any female in possession of a birdhouse can take her pick from the hotties of the opposite sex. And once she has a mate, it's long odds for anyone hoping to evict them. Now, unless they're mating, it's not easy for us to tell the sexes apart. The female of this pair has a line down the center of her breast, but this female only has a smudge, so faint it's hard to know if it's really there. In a way, we don't need to tell which is which, though, because they're both so jazzed about keeping this house that either one of them will fling itself like a dart at any scout checking out their real estate. More than one cheeky trespasser has found himself swept into a whirlwind and booted back out. The warnings are meant to discourage outright attacks, but they never really succeed. Sooner or later, those scouts return with a friend or two bent on mischief. For the swallows, possession isn't 9/10 of the law, it's the whole shebang. And whoever controls the entry hole owns the box. From that truth follow a couple of defense strategies. First, when a hostile takeover is threatening, one of the residents ought to be at the entry, or maybe inside it looking out. Because if a tree swallow is already in there, getting in is like breaching a fortress. The second strategy is that the mate of the guard at the hole patrols the area to block incursions. The guard braces itself to repel any bird that comes hurtling in pecking at it, but more often than not, its mate thwarts those attacks by dodging in front of the bandits to halt their momentum. Speed is the main weapon of every foe, and if the one on patrol can deprive an enemy of it, then the invader has lost that skirmish. Now, I'd have thought that one in the box and one on patrol was the safest strategy, but the fact that the guard stays outside the entrance 9 times out of 10 just goes to show you how much I know. Nor do I get why sometimes one of them sits down and leaves its mate to take care of all of the action, or why other times no one even guards the entry. Obviously, they know what they're doing and don't care whether some ignorant human approves of their strategy. Fair enough. So let me tell you what I do know for sure. The opposing teams don't wear different jerseys, and we spectators can get our eyes crossed trying to figure out which two are the home team. But in a fight, these birds know friend from foe and hurtle through the air with exquisite control. With their aerodynamic bodies and long swept-back wings, tree swallows are built for the chase, and they revel in it. Peaceful interludes are all well and good, but who wants to sit in a rocking chair on the porch all day?